What's up, video creators? This is the Video Creator Show, where we break down how people are making money on YouTube. My name is Grant Ball, and I'm the creator and host of the YouTube channel Treesicle, which is closing in on 1 million subscribers. I also run a few other channels as well. I'm here with my co-host Augie Johnston, who is a former YouTuber himself and the founder of VidChops.com, which is a flat-rate video editing service designed to take the burden of editing totally out of your hands. With all that said, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode, which is a personality test for what kind of YouTube channel you should be running. Help you understand yourself a little better. Hello, welcome back. Today, we're doing a sort of personality test, as I mentioned, so that you can understand yourself better. Because one of the most important things in YouTube is actually doing something that makes sense for you personally. In fact, YouTube, the word you is in the name. Yeah. So today we're going to be diving into two polar opposite YouTube strategies that are very effective, that we've actually covered in previous episodes, but now we're going to be going way more in depth. We're going to be asking ourselves certain questions that, of course, you yourself can also ask as we're going along here. And by the end of this, you should have a clearer idea of what kind of channel you would want to do, which strategy appeals to you and your specific, unique mind. So that's what we're going to get into today. We are here to help you understand what you actually want so you can take effective action. So just some questions to bear in mind before we really jump into it. For one, how does your brain work, or even just your creative process? And like, there's a lot of different people on this platform. There's a lot of different ways to succeed. So these are the types of questions that we're going to be asking ourselves. And again, at the end of all of this, you should be able to understand where you're coming from, what you want to do, and what type of quote-unquote YouTuber you are. So, I mentioned two opposing YouTube strategies. And when I say opposing, I don't mean that they're enemies or anything. I just mean they're opposite. So, first we have the shorter, easier, frequent release strategy. That means a video maybe every day. The videos are very simple. There's fast turnarounds. There's not much room for flexibility because you have to release every single day. The advantages of this are your views and your income will probably be more reliable because every single day you know you're going to put something out, or if it's not every day, it's at least a few times a week. And this can also be nice because it takes pressure off of you. You don't have to be as creatively groundbreaking every single time. Whereas with the opposite YouTube strategy, with longer videos that are more complex, that you release very infrequently, you have more creative pressure because each video, because it takes so long to make, your audience is going to be expecting something big, something unique. And the advantage, however, of the longer, more complex video strategy is you have more creative freedom. With that pressure also comes freedom. So you have no real set schedule, which means you can get all the details right. You can get everything just right, tighten every screw and bolt and dot all the I's and cross all the T's. However, again, there's a pressure involved with that. And also, each video is more of a gamble. So if you're going to put a bunch of hours into a 45-minute video, let's say, you're sort of launching a rocket and hoping it reaches orbit. But it might not reach orbit. And it can be difficult for some people mentally to deal with this. I mean, like, Augie, do you think this would be something you could ever wrap your head around, or would it be too rolling the dice for you?
Yeah, I think I definitely fall more in the side of creating more videos and just more basic videos and just kind of jumping in front of the mic with a couple bullet points and riffing. That's me personally, but I think for the listener right now, the important thing is to understand that you need to figure out what works for you, because so many creators get in their own way, right? They're like, I got to do it this way. I got to do. Well, no, just do it the way that's best for you. If you want to create these long and complex videos and you're not able to, you have like a creative block or something, well, then you might consider, well, hey, let's get started doing it a much simpler, easier way. And, you know, let's say I'm creating a talking head video just like this, where I'm just talking to the camera, and that's kind of the style I'm going to go with. Well, if you get good, you could do daily uploads like you mentioned, right? I mean, I could release a video every single day, just riffing on a topic, but maybe not, right? Maybe you're not quite that good yet. Maybe you can just, maybe you're going to stay with that style, but you're only going to do one a week or maybe 2 a month. Well, that's okay. If that's all you can do, well, then that's all you can do. But I think everyone needs to understand too is YouTube algorithm does favor, you know, a strict upload schedule and videos that people are going to watch all the way through. So if you have that personality where you can just talk on camera and people like really like to hear what you say and they watch all the way through and they're entertained, well, okay, then there's your style. That's the way you should go. If you aren't good at jumping on camera and just riffing and you need to put more time and energy into your videos, then you're going to have to, you know, go with the more complex way. I mean, Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast is the biggest creator because he combines both, right? He releases these epic banger videos and he does it pretty often. Hence, he's the biggest YouTuber.
Yeah, totally. And his watch time is insane. I actually saw on a podcast he did, his average audience retention is over 70%, which is ridiculous for how long his videos are. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's playing the game right in every sense. Releasing often, his videos tend to be longer, and I mean, he's a beast. For sure.
Yeah, and so normally, like, just for people listening, as far as like the audience retention stuff, like normally for me, like I'm shooting for like 40 to 50%. What about you, Grant? What do you see on your videos? What are you guys normally shooting for?
It's also between 40 and 50%. Yeah. So like 40 is like, cool, we did it, good. 50 is like, wow, this is an impressive video. I remember a few years ago we had one video that did hit like 70%. It was a video on Yoshi, and I don't know, something about that video, people were just, wow, I can't click off. I need to keep watching.
Hey, I get that, man. Everyone loves Yoshi. That's like everyone's favorite character, at least in Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, I mean he makes funny noises. He's a green dinosaur. Why would you ever click away?
Yep.
So when you said that the shorter, kind of simpler videos appeal to you, would you say that you are more business-minded or more creative-minded?
I would say probably more business-minded. Like, as you can tell if you listen to these, like I'm always talking about the analytics, how to make more money on YouTube. So yeah, definitely more business-minded, looking at how to create that full-time income.
Totally. Yeah. So whereas for me, I'm kind of the opposite. I tend to be more creative minded. I enjoy the flexibility. I love just having a totally new, hopefully mind-blowing topic to impress the audience each time. And so I think this is a good microcosm, you and me, where we're both kind of sitting on either ends of this spectrum. We have strategies that work for us, to our respective personalities, and so you can see that there's multiple ways to succeed on this weird, crazy platform. So next, I wanted to dive into some examples of channels, and we covered some examples in previous shows, but these ones are different, of course, and they'll really highlight how well these different strategies work, even though they are so different. So the first one is this channel called Clear Value Tax. And even the name is like, wow, this sounds really boring. But actually, it's a fascinating channel. So there's this guy, Brian. He really just gets in front of the camera and talks about what he knows or talks about the news. So you'll see here, he's releasing not super often. However, there was over a year where he was releasing a news video every single day. So he would talk about like the stimulus package update, he would talk about the stock market, he would talk about what Congress is up to, and, you know, he's like this clean-cut accountant, and he kind of has this air of like, I know what I'm talking about, but and he's very likable. And he's really maximizing the upload as much as possible type of video. He'll just kind of do some research on what's going on in the world and upload as often as he wants. Now he's taking a bit of a break with less uploads because I assume it was a bit overwhelming to do every day. But it works very well for him. And again, if you are just aware of what's going on in the world and you have a unique, unbiased perspective like he does, people want to listen to that. I mean, there's so much biased news these days where it feels like you're getting a version of the truth, that if you can actually take information and condense it into a 10-minute video and then tell people what's actually happening in the world instead of, you know, some narrative-based, silly, dramatic telling of events, then chances are you'll succeed like Brian. So, yeah, and you can see his huge jump is when he started his sort of daily show.
Yeah. So, here just looking at this, you know, this is kind of a common thing. A lot of YouTubers will kind of like put in the sweat equity up front, like with the daily uploads. They'll get to that point. It'll actually trigger that algorithm. And now you can see he's up, you know, 22 million views in a month, like, and then just sticking with that for a long time. And it looks like he probably stopped the daily uploads around this time. I'd have to look at his channel again. But you can see the views drop. But the good thing about it, as long as you're still uploading, like let's say he goes from daily to weekly, this is a pretty big drop, but normally I don't see it drop this much. But normally it'll stay up there. It won't be as much, but you'll kind of have created like this foundation for your channel where you have all these old videos and so many of them that it'll drop, but it'll kind of like plateau off as well, and it'll still be a lot higher than it was. Like here you can see he's getting, wow, 151,000 views this month, 30,000 the month before, and then 1 year later, so let's just go from here, December of 2019 to all of a sudden December of 2020, in 1 year, that month he got 20 million views. That is incredible. So that's a lot of that's a lot of work, but still, like, it's worth it, right? He probably went from making, you know, barely any money off his channel to he's probably a multimillionaire off this channel now. And you can see he's got 633 uploads, which is not it's a lot, but if you're a daily uploader, it's not too crazy. And you know, he's broke the 1 million subscriber mark, so this guy definitely has done a good job to grow his channel. I would say also, like, you know, part of the reason that I prefer this strategy of just like talking head video, uploading more often, is because you can really create that process. Like, I can tell he's shooting this in front of like the same wall, probably the same camera setup every single day, you know, and he's probably batch recording them, meaning he's hitting record. He's recording like a video, like 3 or 4 videos in one time, and maybe only having to jump in the front of the camera for like, you know, 2 or 3 hours once a week, and he's able to upload daily. So that's kind of where my head's at. Is I'm trying to maximize my efficiency with the videos I create.
Totally. And so for the person listening, if you're wondering, like, is this what I want to do? Like, there's some things to keep in mind with these types of videos. Using clear value tax as an example, if you're somebody who likes to keep your ear to the ground and you're very good at keeping up with kind of the fast tick news cycle, or any cycle really, whether it's the video game industry, the news, stocks, crypto, whatever, if you're someone who is just plugged in and you just kind of effortlessly consume and understand what's going on day to day, then this is probably good for you. For someone like me, I tend to enjoy the slower tick side of things. So, you know, I'll read philosophy books or history books, and that's a totally much slower side of things than politics or the news in general. So I think ask yourself, what do I pay attention to without putting in any effort? Like, what are you drawn to? What do you consume on a daily basis? And then that should tell you, are you a fast tick person? Are you a slow tick person? And when I say slow tick, that's not like an insult or anything. It just means like you're, instead of like kind of pumping things out quickly, you tend to think things through more, and maybe you're putting out less, but it is more complex, more thought out. Maybe it's about something that isn't relevant today, but it's been relevant for 100 years, just for example.
Yeah, definitely. And you have a bunch of ideas of channels or examples of channels here for more of like the more creative, highly produced type videos. And the one that I always think of when I think of this kind of style is a guy named Mark Rober. Have you ever heard of Mark Rober?
Yeah, is he the guy who does the glitter bombs with porch pirates?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of his.
Okay.
Yeah, and that guy, he releases, I want to say like one video a month, or maybe one video every 2 months. And I'll go ahead and share his channel real quick. And this guy is insane. I mean, his videos are incredible. Like you said, the glitter bomb one. He released one of those 3 weeks. It looks like he's uploading a little bit more recently lately. Probably now that he's so big time, he's probably has a huge budget and stuff. One of my favorite ones was the Squirrel Maze. So in his backyard, he built like a maze for these squirrels to like get nuts, because there were so many squirrels in his backyard. And then he like set up all these cameras, and that video is right here, 87 million views. But this guy, he only has like 100 videos on his channel, and he does like, I want to say like 90 million views a month. I'll pull up his Social Blade real quick, and you can see that, yeah, like I said, it's less like 100 videos that he's uploaded, 2.6 billion views. So he's in the billions.
Oh my God.
He's a YouTube billionaire. 21 million subscribers. Only 104 videos, and look at this view rate. So, he did 124 million views in a month. This most recent month, December of 2021, 97 million. So I know I was preaching kind of like the algorithm favors the daily upload and all that kind of stuff, but that's not completely true. Like we always say, it's always about creating the great videos, right? And that's what this guy does. It's the Mr. Beast style in a way. With not as frequent of his upload schedule, but yeah, he just creates banger videos every single time, and the YouTube algorithm favors him and it promotes him, right? It pushes him out to the recommended and suggested and all that stuff. So super interesting channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so one thing that can be very helpful if you're going to release infrequently, which Mark Rober seems to do, is if your videos are on the longer side, so like over 15 minutes at least, that can give a video more legs, so to speak. Yeah. It allows a video to potentially rack up much more watch time. So a 5-minute video can only rack up a max of 5 minutes, but if it's a 17-minute video, well, you can hit 17 minutes, and YouTube loves that because, well, your video just kept somebody on the platform for 17 minutes, which means it wants to promote it more than a 5-minute video. So it's again, with these longer videos that you don't release as frequently, they're more of a gamble.
Yeah.
It's like there's more flexibility in your schedule. If you're someone who doesn't like structure, if you're someone who likes to just kind of go with the ebbs and flows, then this might be better for you. But if you're someone who, some people, they need security, they love security, it's how they sleep well at night, then, well, the daily upload or near daily is probably better for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's whatever you want to do, right? I mean, it's whatever gets you motivated to make videos. I mean, if you're like dude, I hate talking head videos. Those are the most boring videos. I would never watch those videos. Then you probably shouldn't be making those kind of videos. And if you're more like me, I'm like, dude, those Mark Rober videos, there's no way I would spend 40 hours to create one video and post it online. Like, there's no way I could do that. Then I would. And me personally too, I like talking head videos because, like you said, I'm business minded. So I'm watching videos not for entertainment, but more for value, right? Like, I'm trying to learn something. I want to learn. Where a lot of people are on YouTube to get entertained and get, maybe get caught up on the news and stuff like that.
Totally. And yeah, it's, again, asking yourself, what do you consume? Like, what do you watch? That's such an easy way to figure out what you might like to make. Me personally, I watch talking head videos and longer, more complex stuff. So it's kind of like, I guess either appeals to me, but when it comes to actually making something, the longer, more difficult videos seem to be what I'm looking for. And another nice thing about not worrying about release schedules is your topics tend to be more evergreen. So, like, even if you, like, looking at Mark Rober's analytics, you'll see his views don't really drop below many millions. And that's because the topics he covers, it's not news, like in Clear Value Tax, where kind of a week from now, nobody's going to watch, the video from May 3rd about what was going on May 3rd.
Yeah.
Whereas a video about a glitter bomb that explodes on porch pirates, well, 5 years later, that's still going to be just as relevant. So this kind of releasing whenever strategy on topics that you just think are interesting in and of themselves, it can actually work out for you in the long run. It's just, you kind of start building up this backlog that people want to just binge and watch no matter when it is. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, because we just kind of proved it when we looked at the social blades of both those channels, right? I mean, we saw the Clear Value Tax, daily uploads, whoop, doing good. Okay, not uploading daily anymore. Boom, it dropped way down, right? When the Mark Rober one is just kind of like consistent over time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So in that's kind of, in the long run, ironically, the releasing whenever strategy can be more reliable in some ways with less work. But you also have to build yourself to get there. It's kind of like higher risk, higher reward in a way. So
True.
Yeah, it's you're rolling the dice a little bit, but it can be fun to roll the dice.
Definitely.
All right, next, we have covered both ends of the YouTube spectrum. Now, it's a matter of how do you monetize each type of channel. So, obviously, these are two opposing strategies, which means in order to monetize them, you will probably have very different strategies. So, first, I wanted to look at the Clear Value Tax Patreon and kind of what people are paying for and how this channel uses their personality and their leverage, their skills to make money. So you'll see the first tier is it's $5 a month, and it essentially just it's thanks for helping us out, and that's about it. However, if you go up to their second tier, and their final tier is about $15 a month, and you will actually get information. So again, with Clear Value Tax, they tell you about stocks and crypto and kind of what's going on in the market. He'll post videos on his channel about like stocks he recommends you invest in. Like, hey, I think this is going to be really hot. It's really undervalued right now. You should totally invest in this. So his Clear Value Investing Pro tier, the $15 a month one, is essentially that kind of information, but more in depth. So Brian has built a very respectable reputation as the guy who understands current events, stocks, cryptocurrency. And if you want to get more detailed information, you can pay $15 a month for it. And it's, I'm sure, very good and helpful stuff that if you're really serious about investing your money correctly, is going to help you. Because obviously, if Brian has helped you in the past and you're looking at his Patreon, well, potentially he can help you more. And you'll kind of see this a lot with these more like daily upload type channels, they tend to sell you information, like classes. Whereas the channels that don't upload as frequently, they tend to sell you something different, which is the personality of the person hosting the videos. So like if you look at ContraPoints' Patreon, so ContraPoints is a philosophy YouTuber. She'll make videos that are like over an hour, like an hour and a half. I'll like watch them over the course of 2 or 3 days because they're so long. And the topics are very abstract. She had a video on just opulence, you know, the topic of opulence. When is that trending? But it gets a million views. And so you can see here the way that she makes money with her super long and complicated videos and sort of mysterious posting schedule is a lot of the time she's like selling access to herself. So you can see there's access to Ask Me Anything streams. So you get to actually interact with her. And the reason this is effective, and again, you will see this on all three of the, all of the examples of these long video channels, is because they don't post so much, their personality is kind of at a premium. You don't see them very often. They're kind of mysterious. It's like you want more. They leave you wondering, what are you doing when you're not uploading? You know, I kind of want to know. I want to join this mysterious party. And so, yeah, you can pay $2 a month and ask her anything and watch her streams. And then $5 a month, you get to see outtakes and behind-the-scenes videos. So you kind of get to see deeper into, like, who she is and what's going on. And then obviously $10 a month, you get your name in the credits, and that's just a cool, fun feature. But the main selling point here is just you get more of me. Whereas with Clear Value Tax, you get more of my information. And I think the reason that the talking head videos, where you just kind of hit record and go, they sell information as opposed to like access to themselves, is because, you know, you see them all the time. Like, why would you pay for somebody to see more of somebody who you see every day anyway? Yeah, it's kind of interesting how this seems to work. So if you're someone who likes to interact with a community and to build a thriving community, then this kind of longer time between upload strategy might be more right for you, because you can actually spend more of your time interacting with your patrons, streaming for them, kind of hanging out in a Discord server, instead of just kind of on this constant treadmill of uploading.
Yeah, no, totally. And also, too, I mean, you got to think about what the audience is like, right? The audience for the Clear Value Tax, right? Those people are trying to, like, make more money, learn how to, you know, this financial advice, right? So that audience is going to be willing to pay for information, when her audience is more, I don't know, it's philosophy stuff. It's more just like an interest, right? It's a hobby of theirs that they are, and that's the reason that they're watching the videos, because they find it interesting. So, you know, they're connecting with her, so they want more access to her. They don't want more access to the same stuff that she's already given out on her channel. You mentioned that as well. So, but props to both of them. I mean, the Clear Value guy had 800 Patreons. That's a lot. He's probably, you know, he had a $5 and a $15 plan. So I would say, you know, if we did 10 times 800, he's making $8,000 a month right there. And hers, she had, let me bring it back up. She has
it's over 12,000.
12,000, but she does have that $2 plan. So, just think, and she has a $5 and a $10 plan. So let's just say on average, everyone's paying $4 a month. So, and that's kind of a conservative guess there, but for 4 times 12,000, that's like $50,000 a month. Holy crap. So she's definitely killing the game right there. So good for her. And the best part about what she's doing on her Patreon too is it's not scammy, right? There's no scamminess to it. It's you know, you're getting some cool valuable stuff, and she's not charging you $49 a month, or even, you know, $99 a month or anything like that. It's $2 a month, and she's able to make it work for her.
Definitely. And her style again is like she spends a lot of time with writing. She reads lots of books for each video. Like there's just a lot of overhead. Her backgrounds and her costumes are very elaborate. You know, it all takes time. So some questions to keep in mind. Again, to figure out what category you're in. Like, are you drawn more to abstract ideas that you can only convey through art or precise writing, or are you more motivated at predictable times? So some people, they can, yeah, I'm going to work from 8 to 9 p.m. today, and that just works for you. Every day you have a set schedule and you know that you can be productive. Or are you more creatively moody? Like I'm kind of more moody. Some days I'm like insanely productive and I can work 12 hours no problem. Some days it's like, 4 to 5 hours is, a bit more of a stretch. And some days it's like I'm just taking the day off and I'm going to read a book or whatever. So it's a matter of like being honest with yourself. I think don't just buy into hustle culture.
Yeah.
If you're someone more like me. Obviously you don't want to just lounge around and do nothing, but if you are a sort of motivationally moody person who can't just like say I'm going to work every day from blah to blah, then you should be honest with yourself, and that's okay.
Yeah, and my 2 cents on that is no matter what kind of videos you're creating and stuff, and even if you are like more like you, Grant, where some days you want to work, some days you don't, I would recommend that you just figure out the process that it takes for you to create the kind of videos that you want to create, because there is a process. And, even for her, there's writing and stuff involved, just so that you are able to actually release videos. And that's the hard part. When you first start, you just, the videos just every video just seems like such a struggle. But once you have that process in place and you start to get better on camera and all that kind of stuff, then it'll allow you just to streamline and be more efficient in the time you spend creating videos, because it will lead to burnout if you don't find that process. And every single time you got to make a video, you're kind of reinventing the wheel. Like that'll lead to burnout. Like, make sure you have your camera kind of set up. You have kind of everything kind of where you need it to be, and you have you spend your time, that, okay, first I need to create an outline. Okay, I create my outline. Next, I need to write the script because I'm going to script the whole thing. Next, I need to, hit record. Okay, then I hit record. Okay, next thing I need to do is I need to upload it to Google Drive. Okay, I need to upload it to Google Drive. Just figure out what that process, because then you can have like a little checklist and you can just start going through and crossing things off as you complete them. And there's a little bit of satisfaction in that, so that's my 2 cents.
Totally. Yep. And the more organized you can be, the better.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I'm, again, sort of pitching these opposite ways that brains can work. I think everybody can learn something from the other side. Like for me, learning to work on more of a schedule has been a challenge, but also effective over the years. Whereas other people who I was working with were more schedule oriented, but they could sometimes be more like too obsessed with like getting things out as quickly as possible instead of making it as good as possible. And there's like this balance that you need to walk, and that's okay. It's just a matter of keeping in mind the positives and negatives of each and being honest about it.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. And so next, like now that we've given a very clear idea of kind of how all this works, I did want to present some exceptions to this rule. So less frequent releases, very long videos versus frequent releases, shorter, easier videos. Like these are just ideas, right? So there's a guy named Casey Neistat who I'm a big fan of. He used to post very frequently and with short videos. So you would think, oh, well, this is just a talking head guy. But he's not. He's actually very artistic, very groundbreaking. So he does a lot of vlogs, and, if you just, like, click on one of his videos, it really doesn't matter which, you'll see he's, like, always moving around, and you may not be able to hear it, but he has really cool music that he edits to, and it's like him living his life, sometimes in New York, sometimes in LA, and it's like this really upbeat, positive kind of vibe always. And you see he has like cool camera angles, and he's always cutting to different things, and he just has some really beautiful cinematography. And I guess what I'm trying to convey here is it is possible to create awesome art consistently and even daily and still like be successful. So this is just kind of an exception to the rule that we've laid out. And I just don't want people to put themselves in a box necessarily. So yeah, he has much shorter videos in general, but it works very well for him.
Yeah, and Casey Neistat's one of the OGs, right? He's maybe the greatest vlogger of all time, right? Because he makes these are all vlogs basically. They're a combination, I guess, of talking head and vlog videos. But yeah, I mean, 12 million subscribers. He's been doing this for, I'm guessing, since 2009. If I went to his videos, watch this. Let's sort by oldest. Yeah, 11 years ago. So yeah, 2009. So he's the OG, and one of the reasons that I own an electric skateboard.
I'm so happy I'm talking to a fellow Casey Neistat fan.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think a lot of people like this guy, so good pick there.
Hell yeah. And yeah, so obviously that is one example of, you don't got to put yourself in a box. And then real quick, there's this other channel called Meat Canyon. So this guy releases pretty infrequently. It's like maybe once a month. But he has really awesome high quality animations, and his style is like kind of grotesque. And I mean, you could just click on any of these videos. It's very surreal, kind of creepy, but it's also hilarious. Like, he's great at just spoofing people. Like, so in this case, Dream, I don't know if you're familiar with Dream, but he's like a Minecraft YouTuber. And there's a whole thing about him wearing a mask, and nobody knows what he actually looks like. And so this kind of weird, grotesque, hilarious video is just what's behind his mask. And his videos are super... Well, he does have an 18-minute one, but in general, he'll have like 2-minute videos, 3-minute videos, 4-minute videos. He's not like consistently hitting a long length, even though he's taking a while to release each video. So, and yeah, it's just a very sporadic upload schedule. Sometimes it's like, seems he's uploading once a week, and then other times he'll just take a break for like a month, Yeah,
these are super challenging videos to create, right? Animation is not easy, and he only has 120 total uploads. I'm looking at his Social Blade right now, 3.8 million subscribers, but 570 million views. So 570 million views on 120 uploads. So that's pretty cool.
Yep, very impressive. So yeah, there's a million ways to do this. Really just take these two styles as opposite ends of what's possible, and you'll probably land somewhere in the middle. You'll be closer to one side than another, probably, but that's okay. And really just, so the main questions to ask yourself are you more of an artist or more of a business person? Do you like structure or do you like flexibility? Does interacting with a community appeal to you, or does selling a tangible product appeal to you? Low volume channels need to rely on their community for support. So that's channels that don't release very often need to rely on their community. This means keeping them up to date with what you're doing, interacting with them, streaming for them, showing them behind the scenes content. Generally, you're trying to sell a perspective with the sporadic uploads, both in your videos and off of YouTube. So you kind of have this very well thought out, unique perspective. Whereas high volume channels that release a lot, they can pitch whatever product they're selling 7+ times a week. You have so many opportunities to say, hey, check out this thing, because you're uploading all the time. People are also used to seeing your face, which means your personality is at less of a premium. Generally, these types of channels sell information both in their videos and off of YouTube. So the question is, what is sustainable for you? Don't get lost in hustle culture and don't get lost in perfectionism. Perfectionism can haunt channels that don't release very often because you have all the time in the world to push the video back another day and to say, oh, I can make this a little bit better, and that's going to be great. But if you do that too much, you're not going to release enough. You're also going to drive yourself crazy. I've driven myself crazy with that. Whereas the opposite problem is getting lost in hustle culture, where you are on this sort of mindless treadmill, releasing as often as possible. Maybe you aren't putting enough thought into your videos. Maybe you're overworking yourself. Maybe you are covering totally the wrong topics because you're more concerned with doing than you are with thinking. So these are the opposite problems that can plague you to just keep in mind, I would say. And of course, remember, these are just two sides of a spectrum. You do not have to operate on either extreme. You can be anywhere in the happy middle.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. I like that ending right there where you talked about you could be anywhere in that. Don't choose one side. Just find out what works for you. And that middle ground is probably actually, honestly, the best. I mean, that's balance, right? And that's what we need in our upload schedule, in our work-life balance. So.
Balance is always the key. And also being true to yourself. So now that we've kind of asked these questions, especially those ones at the end, those are the important ones, you should have a better idea of what do you want out of this platform? What do you want out of your particular YouTube journey? Now that you know, hopefully you can go to the drawing board, draw up some new plans, think for yourself, and start taking effective action that is true to yourself. All right, that's all we've got for you today. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please make sure to leave a 5-star review on iTunes, as we read every single one of those. And please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube to join the video creator community. Thanks for checking out today's episode, and we will see you in the next one.